Hello, ladies and gentlemen, this is Spider, and welcome back to another review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Animated Deluxe Cybertron mode, Ratchet. Now, I usually start off these reviews by taking a look at the packaging, but I don't have any more, so here's a trash can instead. Alright, enough of that. Onto the figure. And this figure, originally released back in 2010, I believe, and is based on his appearance from Transformers Animated. Now, Ratchet only appeared in his Cybertron mode in like a handful of episodes in the cartoon, but I'm glad they made a figure of it anyways, because I really like this design. It was also a Toys R Us exclusive, which honestly isn't really relevant anymore, but I just had to mention it. Alright, that's enough about the background of the figure. Let's actually get into the figure itself. So, let's focus in here on the front of the vehicle. It's got a very nice silver Autobot symbol, which unfortunately is kind of rubbing away. That kind of sucks. It's got some yellow headlights here and some lights up on the top as well. We got a very nice blue translucent windshield, which looks quite nice. We got little designs molded in the windshield. This is very nice. Even though technically in the cartoon it was actually black, not blue, but yeah, it doesn't bug me. In fact, I think actually the blue looks a bit better than the black would have. But that's just me. You get the treads here, which unfortunately are not painted all the way around, but whatever. You get the sides here, got little details on them like that. You get the back treads, which actually are painted black all the way around. So that's quite nice. You get the side of the vehicle. Looks decent. You got a little heart monitor there, or I guess a spark monitor because they're Transformers. And you got the top of the vehicle, which looks pretty nice. You got the bottom of the vehicle, which looks, looks decent. You get some bits just hanging out here, but it's fine. Then you got the back of the vehicle, which honestly is the worst looking part of it because it's just everything is just out in the open. It's just, yeah, it looks a bit of a mess. Now the treads do have little wheels on the bottom of them, but unfortunately they don't really allow it to roll all that much, so that kind of sucks, but what are you gonna do? But what is cool is that you actually can adjust the treads, so if you wanted to lower to the ground, you could just push it down like that. Or if you want it further up, you can put them up like that. That's cool, so you can adjust those bits. That's pretty cool. These you can't really adjust as much. They're kind of just stuck in place for the most part. But it's a cool little thing you could do if you wanted to do it. Yeah. Alright. So yeah. That is the Cybertron vehicle mode. Now, there's one more thing we got to talk about, and that is the accessory storage. You got these two little defibrillators here, which aren't really all that complicated, just simple black plastic. And they just tab onto the back right there. Make sure they clip on, because if you don't, they will pop off very easily. And there you go. You can store onto the back. And honestly, I kind of like that because it slightly covers up all the bits that are hanging out in the back. And it makes the vehicle mode look just ever so slightly better. So this is usually how I display the vehicle mode, is with the things hanging on the back. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the vehicle mode. And overall, I think it's pretty solid. I really like it. There's some things wrong with it, but the overall design is pretty cool. And I really like the look of it. I think it's very creative and different, because most Cybertron modes usually fall into one of two categories. Either one, it basically just looks like an Earth vehicle, but just like a fancy futuristic version of it. Or two, it doesn't look like anything. It's just a weird whatever. Whatchamacallit, you know? Like, the Studio Series 83 Soundwave comes to mind. Like, what is that alt mode even supposed to be? So yeah, I like it when alt modes still look like some kind of vehicle, but also do not look like they come from Earth. And to me, this fits that very nice. So yeah, really, really dig this alt mode. But now that we're done with that, it is on to the size comparisons. Alrighty, so to start the size comparisons, as always, here we have it with a LEGO minifigure, the Pack of Destruction minifigure Mothra, and with the Pack of Destruction minifigure Godzilla. Now, on to the more relevant size comparisons. Here we have it with the Transformers Energon RC. We have it with the Transformers 2007 Movie Deluxe Bumblebee. And we have it with the 2007 Voyager Ratchet. And finally, here it is with the previous review, the Transformers Animated Deluxe Lockdown. So here he is with his rival. Yeah, both pretty decent sized deluxes. Alrighty, now that we're done with that, it's measuring time. So we'll get it up here, focus in on there. Vehicle mode is almost 3 inches tall and a little over 4 inches long. So it's a decent vehicle mode, decent sized vehicle mode. Alright, now that we're done with all that, it's time to move on to the transformation. So to do that, we're gonna raise up the camera a bit here. We can get here. I guess we should take these off. You don't have to. You can leave them on if you want. It really doesn't get in the way of anything, but I'm just gonna take them off just because. Alright, so first thing you want to do is come here and untab that bit. Whoops. There we go, just untab that. Bring that down. Put it in like that. Rotate it. And then what you want to do is just fold out the foot. And you got a leg all done. Now it's the same for the other side. Do. There you go. You got the legs all done. Now you want to come to the front here, grab this bit and just pull on it, and it extends like so. And then you want to come here and just fold this forward like that. What you want to do is bring these bits down, and they are on struts inside. You can see that. So you want to bring them in, and they will tab into this bar bit right there, and that will hold all that into place. So there you go. You fold that down, push it in to make it all nice and compact. Next thing you want to do is come here to the back and disconnect these bits. And now you just want to fold out the arm. So the same on the other side. Come on, there you go. Alright, then that folds down like so. You want to rotate this to the right angle, so make sure it looks like that, and then it will just slide into there just like that, and that will bring their arm into place. You want to fold that up and do the same thing on the other side. Get everything into position it's supposed to be. There we go. And then you want to fold up the head, and you are done. And there's Ratchet in his robot mode. And honestly, it's a very nice transformation. I really like it. It's simple but clever. I especially like the bit here, like how everything gets held into place and everything. It's just, it feels very satisfying when you get it all done. So yeah, very nice. I quite like it. Now, we're going to start off with his articulation. So the head is on a ball joint, so he can look that far down and can't really look that far up, but if you use the transformation joint, he can look really far up. You can get some side to side. You can get a little bit of head tilt in there. Shoulders are on ball joints. They go that far out. Go all the way around. You do have a bicep rotation, a double jointed elbow, which is very nice, and the wrist can rotate. It's very, very tight. Nothing at the waist. The legs are also on ball joints. They can go. You can kick that far forward and that far back. You can go out that much. He does have an above the knee swivel. He has a bend at the knee, which is a little limited, but it's not terrible. And the foot can go up and down. And that is about it for the articulation. And honestly, it's not bad. It is not bad at all. Especially for an older figure. For a figure this old, the articulation is fantastic. Anyways, now we should move on to the details. See, we have Ratchet's face there, and you can tell that this is based on a younger Ratchet, because not only is his head crest unbroken, but he's smiling. So, yeah, this is definitely younger, more, happier, not so grumpy Ratchet. You get the very nice head sculpt. Must say, looks very, very nice. It's got some light piping going on. Bring out a flashlight, you can see, ooh, it's got lots of glowing light in there. You got his chest, which is just that same dimension as before. The hood becomes his belly, I guess. Would that be the chest or the belly? Yeah, whatever. You get the arms revealed now. Oh yeah, I forgot. One more bit of the articulation. You can technically use the transformation joint to get a little bit more articulation. I forgot about that. Anyways, you get that same spark beat monitor, I guess. You got his hands. Quite nice. Yeah, his arms a little different for reasons we will explain a bit later. You get the legs. You get the thin thigh and the big calf. Which is funny because like a lot of Transformer figures have this kind of leg design. It's not as extreme as an animated, but like they always have the thin thigh and then the big calf. And I always find that kind of funny because human anatomy is the exact opposite. The thigh is the biggest part of the leg and the calf is smaller. So I always find it funny that Transformers do the opposite of that. Anyways, you got the back of the figure, which he does have this big chunky backpack, but it is accurate to the show. So he actually has a very nice back. Yeah, his calves are kind of gappy, but doesn't really bug me. So yeah, overall, just a very solid robot mode. I really, really dig it. I like it. I like it a lot. Whoops, hang on. Come on, stand up now. So, yeah. Now, for accessories, we can bring back these defibrillators. And they do just plug into, well, not plug, but they just kind of snap under his hands. It's a little difficult to do. Come on, get on there. Get. There we go. Alrighty, now he's ready to bring some people back online. So yeah, it's not a bad look. Nice. Kind of weird accessories, but it does make sense for Ratchet. Yeah, goodness. Hard to put on and hard to take off. Yeah, come on. Yeah, there we go. Hey, okay. And yes, you can in fact still store them just like you did in the vehicle mode. I put that on backwards. There we go. Yeah, you gotta put them on right, otherwise there won't be space for the both of them. There we go. So you can just put them back there, and I usually leave them there anyways, just so I don't lose them. So yeah, now that we're done with the accessories, we can move on to the gimmicks. he's got two gimmicks, one kind of pointless and the other kind of cool. The first gimmick is that his arm has like this weird punching thing. Dang it. There we go. Now you can see. Yeah, he's got a punching thing. You just push on that lever and it moves the arm forward. Yeah, it's kind of stupid, gonna be honest. Like, why would you give a punching gimmick to Ratchet of all characters? I don't get it. You can also do that, so you can have it extended fully at all times. Yeah, I don't get it. It's feels very out of place. Feels like, oh, we gotta give this figure a gimmick. We'll just slap that onto it. But it does have one other gimmick. One that I really like, and that is, if you take your animated lockdown figure and you remove the engine bits, this is the EMP generator that Ratchet has that Lockdown stole from him, and you can see there's a spot on his arm that you can actually put it into. So you got a shape there, a hole there, just line it up, put it in. There we go. And there, Ratchet's got his EMP generator back. You can push down on it and... there we go. And extend it. So you can have that look going. I really like that. I talked about that in my lockdown review, but I really like the compatibility. Especially since this is the Cybertron mode. Like, obviously, you know, makes sense. The robot mode, the Earth mode would have that. But they did it with the Cybertron mode too. It's very nice. I really like it. I like that cross-play compatibility. It's very nice. Very cool. Much appreciated. But yeah, that's pretty much all the figure has to offer. And overall, like I said, it's pretty cool. I really, really dig this figure. And this is also my very first animated figure, so I started off with a pretty cool figure. Well, I mean, unless you count this thing, which I don't. So, yeah, pretty dang cool. Now, we're done talking about the figure. It's time for size comparisons part 2. So, to start off the size comparisons once again, here it is with a Lego minifigure. With the Pack of Destruction minifigure Mothra. The Pack of Destruction minifigure Godzilla. Alrighty. Now it is with the Transformers Energon RC. Here it is, if I can get him to stand up, with the Deluxe 2007 Bumblebee. Alright, he stood up. Isn't that nice? Here it is with the Deluxe Voyager movie Ratchet. Wait, did I say Deluxe movie? The Voyager Ratchet from the movie. You can see he's a little bit bigger. Obviously, he's a Voyager. And finally, here it is with the previous review, the Transformers Animated Deluxe Lockdown, who towers over the Deluxe Ratchet, which is kind of funny. I don't know why they made him so big, but they did. Now, measurement time once again. So let's bring that out, bring him in. And you can see here that, yeah, he is a pretty solid 6 inches tall. So yeah, this is back when Deluxes were a nice beefy size. But yeah, is pretty much it for Deluxe Cybertron Mode Ratchet. Overall, I really, really like this thing. I mean, he looks really nice, he feels really nice. He's just a pretty cool figure. Honestly, the only real negative I have about it is that even though he does have holes in his hands, he is not compatible with 5mm weapons. So yeah, you can't take a modern weapon and give it to him. The hole is not big enough. So yeah, but honestly, that's really it. That's like the only like real complaint I can think for this figure, because otherwise it's just fun. It's just a cool, fun toy, man. Yeah. Now, if you wanted one for yourself, obviously they're not in stores anymore, but on eBay they're going for around $30 to $50 out of the box, so a little expensive. And if you wanted one in the box, probably going for like $70 or more. So yeah, kind of expensive, but that's kind of the case with a lot of animated figures these days. It's unfortunate, but that's the world we live in. But yeah. So if you're interested in this figure, I definitely recommend it. It is very, very nice. And I believe they also made an Ironhide version of this figure, which is also cool. I might pick that up one day. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But that is pretty much all for this review. I hope you all enjoyed. See you later. Sayonara. Bye.